I'm Mikey, and this is the Weekly Gaming Goss, back to bring you the hottest gaming-related news that I could be bothered to copy and paste into a Microsoft Word document for this script. Weekly reminder that any inaccuracies in this video ain't on me. That's on the dumbass journalist I stole these articles from. For our first story, Hideki Kamiya, famous for his work at Platinum Games, is working again with Capcom with his new studio, Clovers, to produce a long-awaited sequel to the PS2 classic, Okami. And man, it's been a rough journey for Kamiya. Don't let Kojima fool you. This making new moves as a middle-aged game developer thing ain't as simple and easy as it looks. Despite making more money than any other entertainment sector, the industry is still very risk-averse, and it's hard for even a distinguished vet of the industry like Kamiya to branch out and try something new. See, after he left Platinum in October of 2023, because of creative differences, he helped Kenta Koyama to create the new studio, Clovers Inc. And then he basically became an unemployed NEET for a year because of a one-year non-competition clause he had with Platinum Games in the scenario that he left. But this little era of inactivity, during which he literally dubbed himself Unemployed Hideki Kamiya, has finally come to an end. Oh, and Platinum Games is dead. Basically a walking corpse at this point, cause all the good staff is gone. They're either working at Square, Capcom, or they just left. Tencent invested a hefty sum into Platinum Games. I don't really know why. They don't come with any IPs, they keep losing money, and now pretty much all the best talent is somewhere else. Not sure what the future holds for Platinum Games, but it honestly ain't looking too bright. But hey, Kamiya's making a new Okami. It's gonna be sweet. For our next story, there's been a strange transitionary phase going on over at Microsoft Gaming for a while. It started with Game Pass. See, the Xbox One was originally envisioned more as an entertainment hub than a proper gaming console. And the main idea behind Game Pass was to be a gaming rental service. But it's gone even further than that at Microsoft. You don't even need an Xbox to use Game Pass. According to Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella, the plan is for you to not need an Xbox to enjoy an Xbox at all.
And so we said, let's take that joy of gaming everywhere, and that's why even these ads with Xbox Now, where we are redefining what it means to be an Xbox fan, it's about being able to enjoy Xbox on all your devices.
Satya, what the fuck are you talking about? Enjoy Xbox on all my devices? Why would I buy your consoles if I can enjoy Xbox without buying an Xbox? I mean, nobody's buying an Xbox for any exclusives anymore. Those are going extinct. I don't know what Satya Nadella and Phil Spencer are cooking up at Microsoft, but it's definitely not figuring out how to sell more Xboxes or get developers to make more games for them, because sales are down 30% compared to last year. Here's a little story to convey how goofy things are getting for Microsoft. In Spain, the best-selling console of the year in the country has been the PS5. The second is the Nintendo Switch. The third isn't the Xbox. Even when combining sales of the Xbox Series S and X, they still came short of the Spectrum. Yes, a replica of the 1982 Sinclair ZX Spectrum outsold both versions of the Xbox One in Spain. Like, what are we doing here, Phil? What are we doing? Now for our next story, there's been a lot of drama concerning Game Science, the studio that made Black Myth Wukong. Specifically, there's been a story making the rounds about how at least one dev on the team was whimpering like a whole ass bitch at the Game Awards because he felt that Wukong got snubbed when Astrobot was announced as Game of the Year. The CEO, Feng Ji, even went on a rant where he calls the whole event fraudulent in how he planned his acceptance speech for Wukong 2 years in advance. Everyone's been clowning him and his studio all over social media because of this. But there's one teensy-weensy problem. None of this happened. See, the origin of the CEO rant is just a shitty ChatGPT translation of a post he made that got rid of all of his obvious sarcasm. I mean, just look at this shit. Oh, he's so mad. Just look at those emojis. In China, you only use those if you're really pissed off about some shit. Now, the origin of the story about the dev being a crybaby bitch at the Game Awards began with one Alanah Pearce, everyone's favorite former IGN journalist turned professional e-girl. Anyway, she said the following.
And I was in the front row this year, but I could see all of the nominees and awards winners, and the Black Myth Wukong team, I don't know which person on the team, was crying when Astrobot got Game of the Year. because you could see him just looking down the line, which is the first time I've ever seen anything like that, because generally everyone is like, Game Awards doesn't matter that much, but...
Here's the thing. According to a guy who currently works for IGN and was also at the Game Awards, he was sitting with the game science guys the whole time, and he didn't see them, or anybody else for that matter, shed a tear. There were apparently nothing but smiles and chuckles all night long. So what's Alanah talking about? Well, maybe she thought she misheard something. Or maybe she's just a fucking liar. And when I say she's a liar, I don't mean in the usual way games journalists lie. She doesn't just lie for monetary gain or to please publishers. No, she's a habitual liar who tells goofy-ass tall tales for clout and attention. Like how she lied about Sekiro fan art she claimed to have drawn herself in less than an hour when she actually stole it from somebody else, backtracked on saying she drew it when she really just traced over it, and then just deleted the post. Or how when she said she was a writer for God of War Ragnarok, despite not being in the credits as a writer, and kept lying about it to the point that Anthony fucking Birch posted, if you weren't in the credits as a writer, it means you didn't write for the game. But honestly, her shenanigans are less problematic than the fact that all these games journalists just ran with this. Cause at the end of the day, Alanah's not a games journalist anymore. She's basically on the level of any other gaming streamer or content slop YouTuber. But these dudes in games journalism are supposedly being held to a higher standard than that. You know, I make a joke at the beginning of these videos about how it's the journalist's fault if I get a story wrong. But in all seriousness, games journalists suck. And for our last and honestly most pressing story of the week, something tragic almost befell the games industry. Something that would have sent us back decades. I'm talking Jim Crow for gamers. Back when Rosa Parks was arrested for daring to play her Nintendo Game Boy at the front of the bus. Bro, they tried to nerf the cake out of Zenless Zone Zero. I can't believe this shit. Nothing's sacred anymore. I don't know whether it was pressure from the Chinese government or the Western gaming press, but MiHoYo has been slowly but gradually self-censoring themselves. But the gamer reaction to this update was so crazy, niggas just losing their minds, that MiHoYo caved immediately, brought back the bunda, and said it was just a glitch. Sure, a glitch. Let's go with that. Honestly, I wish more developers would go with that. If most of the audience doesn't like a change, just undo it and call it a glitch and be done with it. I know that Zenless Zone Zero is just another soulless gacha game at the end of the day, but in an era where a lot of developers just seem to hate the people who actually play their games and keep trying to appeal to a non-existent modern audience that never shows up, it's nice that Chinese developers actually seem to give enough of a fuck to not want to alienate the people who actually support them and keep the lights on. Anyway, that's all I got. It's actually not all I got. I got like 2 other stories I could talk about, but I'm not putting in all that effort for you.